A very good evening to you and welcome to The Bottom Line, a wrap of the business news of the day. I'm Francis Good. It's great to have you with us. And of course, the breaking news tonight, late this afternoon, it came through that e-commerce is now open. Of course, unfettered e-commerce was not allowed under the lockdown regulations at level 4. Some criticism around that. Government now saying that everything can be sold except liquor and cigarettes. We'll get a comment on that relating to small business. But let's start now with the number of the day, and it points to just how big the wave, even the tsunami of job losses that is going to hit our economy. The number of the day, let's bring it up, 26.8%, which is the number of small businesses that have already cut jobs since the start of the lockdown. A survey done on behalf of Nedbank also showed that almost 65% of firms had no turnover at all during the first 5 weeks of the lockdown. That's around 2/3. The survey also shows more than half of all small businesses have reduced their staff through paid or unpaid leave. Now remember, the National Development Plan sees small businesses as the most important engines of job creation, but they're fighting for survival. Before the COVID-19 crisis, South Africa's unemployment rate was above 29%. There are predictions now that joblessness may ultimately exceed 50%. Well, to discuss, we're now joined on the line by Nedbank's Executive for Professional and Small Business Banking. That's Shannon. Mr. Shannon, thank you very much. Firstly, I don't know if you can quickly comment on e-commerce now open, and I guess we do have small businesses that are selling goods online.
Yes, I mean, that's obviously come as exceptionally good news this afternoon. I think the big challenge now will be making sure that more small businesses actually get to improve their own e-commerce capability.
So it could be a spark for innovation. All right, let's look at this survey that you did since the beginning of the lockdown. What do we mean by small businesses? How did you do this survey?
So we tackled this by canvassing and engaging businesses that were turning over below 30 million rand per annum. We engaged over 1,300 businesses on this survey, so we wanted to make sure it was representative. And we crisscrossed all the sectors in the small business sector as well, so we know that it also represents the broad range of industries that are represented by the small business sector.
And nearly 27% already shedding jobs. I mean, are we able to quantify that in terms of people, jobs, livelihoods lost?
Well, I think what's interesting is, and the 27% that you referred to are permanent jobs, or jobs that have been lost on a permanent basis. There was a further 52%, if my memory serves correct, of jobs that had been lost, albeit potentially on a temporary basis. So up to 80% of the small businesses that we had engaged with have lost or reduced jobs, and the 27% is of a permanent nature. A big degree of that is at a temporary nature, and I guess the big hope is obviously that they will be temporary, and many of those jobs will find themselves coming into existence again.
Yeah.
In terms of will we recover, it's interesting. Our only kind of view is that a recovery will go deep into 2021. And what we can't do from this exercise necessarily is tell you exactly how many jobs have been lost in number terms. However, the maths, I think, is fairly easy to calculate. The survey does suggest that 10% of the businesses that we engaged with are confident that they will not open again, that they will remain closed. And depending on who you listen to, the small business community employs somewhere between 50 and 60% of the employed community, and you can work out the maths and figure out that the impact of job losses is going to be very significant.
So significant, and I mean, this happened over a period of 5 weeks. So we know the lockdown will extend. We know that even after that, the economy is not going to recover with a big bang. So I mean, this is just the start of a tsunami, it seems.
Correct, because I mean, the consequences of unemployment down the line are vast. It reduces the tax base, puts extra pressure on the social system. The national salary bill reduces, less money circulates, less spending happens. It becomes untenable, and of course, it becomes now a massive setback for South Africa's employment ambitions.
Is this yet another sign pointing to the need? Obviously, health concerns are huge, but to urgently reopen the economy as soon as possible.
So, I mean, I certainly don't envy the people that are needing to make these decisions around when to open, but I think it stands to reason that the opening of the economy is likely the only way that the economics of this virus will be mitted against, specifically for small business, any business for that matter. Businesses can't survive unless they're trading.
Yeah, and 65% of businesses had no turnover at all. I mean, that's an incredible figure.
Correct. In fact, the survey also suggests that 70% of the businesses had their doors closed during that initial 5-week level 5 lockdown period. And so the difference between the 65 and the 5 is some of the turnover that trickled into those businesses from before when the lockdown actually commenced. So, 70% of them having their doors literally closed during that period is massively significant.
Yeah, and I mean, small businesses, some of them hairdressers, things like that. I think they're only open in level 2, so it's still a long haul for small businesses. I mean, this must be so worrying for you, looking at those as part of your portfolio.
Well, it is. Nedbank, as all the other banks, are already invested in the small business sector. So, their success will contribute to a large extent to our success. So, we're really interested in seeing how quickly the economy can open and small businesses' chances of survival, increase accordingly.
All right, we're running out of time, and it's not a great line, but this loan guarantee scheme should help. Very quickly, are you seeing a flood of small businesses coming forward for that sort of relief?
Yes, the scheme officially launched, if I'm not mistaken, on Tuesday. And we've seen a sort of steadily increasing flow of applications coming from our clients applying for loans as a function of the SME COVID-19 loan scheme. So yes, absolutely. Lots of interest being shown. We expect, given some of the preparation that these businesses need to go through in order to apply, that interest is going to increase significantly as we go into next week.
All right, thank you very much. That was Shannon from Nedbank. And let's stay with this theme because the National Small Business Chamber says moving most parts of the country to level 3 is too little, too late. In his address to the nation last night, President Cyril Ramaphosa announced a move from level 4 to level 3 at the end of May, with some exceptions. Well, the Chamber says that Cape Town and Johannesburg